Hey, Happy New Year!
Do you love the strange, the unexplained, and the downright terrifying? Horrifying History takes you on a chilling journey into the dark corners of the past, where history and horror collide. From haunted places and ghostly legends to unsolved mysteries and terrifyingly true stories, you will uncover the twisted facts that history books leave out. Who were the real monsters behind infamous legends? What dark secrets lie buried in the pages of history? Every episode, we reveal the eerie truths that will send shivers down your spine. Are you brave enough to face the darkness? Horrifying History, available now wherever you listen to your podcasts. But don't wait for too long. The past might just come looking for you. Listen if you dare.
The Murder Shelf Book Club contains disturbing content related to real-life crimes. Listener discretion is advised. Well, welcome to the Murder Shelf Book Club podcast. I am your host, Jill, wishing everybody a happy new year and a wonderful 2025. This is minicast episode 110, the first update of 2025, and I hope there will be many case updates coming, Murder Bookies. I just read a news report by ABC 7 on Your Side, KATV, on the West Memphis 3 case, which was featured in episodes 101 to 105 on the book A Harvest of Innocence by Dan Stidham and Tom McCarthy. And I'm sure you remember that one. Wow. Quick review. In episode 105, I told you that in 2022, convicted child killer Damian Eccles sued Crittenden County, Arkansas, requesting them to test more evidence from the crime scene for DNA in the murders of the 3 8-year-old boys, Stevie Branch, Michael Moore, and Christopher Byers, as he works to continue to exonerate himself, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miskelly, the West Memphis 3. This new DNA testing would utilize the MVAC wet vacuum system, which is technically far superior to anything that science had in 2007, and has the potential to identify the actual perpetrator and scientifically prove the innocence of Mr. Eccles, Mr. Baldwin, and Mr. Miskelly. This petition was denied, as the court believed only inmates can request further DNA analysis, and Damian was no longer an inmate. Now, last April 2024, in a 4-3 decision, the Arkansas Supreme Court overturned the lower court's ruling, saying that Damian Eccles is entitled to petition an Arkansas court for new DNA testing of the crime scene evidence in this 1993 murder of the 3 boys. Now, in 2007, the analysis of the DNA of the knots that tied victim Michael Moore came back as a partial match to Stevie Branch's stepfather, Terry Hobbs. Damian Eccles' lawyer, North Little Rock's Patrick Benka, spoke to KATU's Andrew Mobley, saying that despite the evidence pointing to Hobbs, law enforcement made little to no effort to investigate him. Quote, "The interview they did of Mr. Hobbs subsequent to that finding, that his hair was at the scene, while the interview was comical. I mean, they literally asked him 2 or 3 questions and said, 'Good day,' end quote. We now know from this new report that the shoelaces that bound the 3 little boys have been tested And Benka explains that they literally unknotted these ligatures, and it's very likely that the skin cells are tucked in there and they were waiting to be found. Benka said, quote, "I think there's no question that we're going to know who tied those knots," end quote. And the big news is that early this year, these new DNA results will be back. I don't know when, but it is coming and coming soon. The killer will be exposed and hopefully arrested and facing trial in 2025, maybe 2026. Defense attorney Dan Stidham also spoke with KATU's Andrew Mobley, and he said, quote, "I'm a full-time judge and I can't be involved in the actual defense, but I'll resign my judgeship immediately if we were to get a new trial," end quote. Now, Dan Stidham has a theory that a long-haul truck driver is the killer, so he's equally optimistic that the new testing will reveal a DNA profile that can be compared with this suspect. Oh gosh, so stay tuned. I knew we'd be starting 2025 strong, and this is the first piece to fall into place. So we are close to seeing the West Memphis 3 exonerated of these murders that they were forced to plead guilty to in the Alford plea, while swearing that they did not commit the murders of Stevie, Michael, or Christopher. Maybe Jason Baldwin will be able to go to law school as he so badly desires, and lives will take a turn. Justice is coming. So let's take a breath and patiently wait for the results coming in early 2025. If you need an update on the West Memphis 3 case, listen to my recent episodes 101 to 105, or buy Dan Stidham's book, A Harvest of Innocence. I also heartily recommend investigative journalist George Jared's book, Witches in West Memphis. Yeah, he is the author of our current book, Silent Silhouette, Who Killed Deborah Sue, but he also covered the West Memphis 3 case from the very beginning as well. As soon as the news on this MVAC DNA testing breaks, I will let you know in another mini-cast, and I'll drag Dan Stidham back to speak to us about it, and maybe George Jared too, starting 2025 strong. Thank you for listening. I see you as you hear me. My next episode, 111 on Silent Silhouette, will drop shortly, followed by my exclusive interview with George Jared. So you will not believe where George and Jennifer Buchholz's investigation of Deborah Sue Williamson's murder goes next. No stone unturned. And my next true crime book is The Baby Doll Serial Killer, The John Eric Armstrong Homicides by R.B. Bates and Gerald Cliff. Now, this is a serial killer that I had never heard of before. A nice guy, quiet, reserved, Eric, as he was called, was never in trouble. But deep within him, a malignant force lurked, concealed from everyone. Trolling for prey on Detroit's Prostitution Alley, Michigan Avenue, he picked up women who were taken in by his boyish demeanor and never heard from again. This true crime book by Bates and Cliff, who is the officer who headed this investigation, has so many details and is so incredibly comprehensive, you feel you are a part of the team rather than just a reader or a listener. So do not miss my next book, The Baby Doll Killer. Email me at jill@murdershelfbookclub.com or find me on X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or join me on Patreon and help me pick out my next book. So much is coming in 2025.
The Social Detective is an investigative podcast that assists in the solving of cases in Kansas and the surrounding states. We utilize our relationships with law enforcement agencies, media outlets, family members, and loved ones of the victims by creating social media platforms for the murdered and the missing. Instead of doom scrolling on social media, use it as a tool, a resource to generate information for the more than 600,000 people that go missing in the United States every year. You can find The Social Detective on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and wherever you stream your podcasts. Find out how you can become a social detective. On our podcast, we refuse to sensationalize cases to gain listeners. This podcast will always be a safe space for the families of the victims. So come join us at The Social Detective.
Written and produced by Jill, all rights reserved. Music, The Pewter Elephant by Blue Dot Sessions.